The Predator franchise started in 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting a predator with a team of larger-than-life mercenaries in the South American jungles. In 1990, Danny Glover took on another predator in an urban jungle. Then came a series of movies that didn't get the same love that these two movies received, and with each subsequent installment, the Predator franchise exacerbated. However, that changed with the surprise hit Prey that was released in 2022. While a sequel to Prey is in the works, we are gonna get another Predator film named Badlands. So here's everything we know about the movie, including a couple of Predator comics characters that the movie might be based on. So without further ado, let's begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. A close look at Predator Badlands. To be honest, I couldn't be happier with where the Predator franchise is headed, especially after what they did with Prey. I know. A few people didn't quite like the movie, so I am leaving the floor open for a healthy debate about the things you guys liked and disliked about Prey. Anyway, I digress. So, Badlands is being written by Dan Trachtenberg and Patrick Eisen, with Eisen doing the screenplay as well. Surprisingly enough, the movie is set to kick off production in July 2024, which is a very positive news. And yeah, it's got 20th Century Studios' full attention, which means, sorry, Prey 2, you'll have to wait your turn. Now, what we know also is that Elle Fanning, the child star turned Hollywood sensation, is in talks to lead the film. You might know her from her killer role as Catherine the Great in The Great, We Bought a Zoo, Maleficent, and other films. While her role in Badlands is still pretty much under wraps and hasn't been confirmed by the studio or the filmmakers, it's enough to create all the hype in the Predator community. I mean, she's a fine actress with a lot of potential, so it's not too difficult to understand that she may do a hell of a job with Badlands. Having said that, if she plays the lead and brings down a Predator, I am sure many would not be stoked. The reason is simple. People have known the Predator franchise to be the epitome of masculinity and all things macho, right from the time the Governator starred in the original. But then again, let's see how the movie turns out before we form any judgments. Announced alongside Prey 2, Badlands was officially confirmed in February 2024. Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey, is back to direct this one too. As for the timeline, we don't have a release date yet, but we know it's dropping before Prey 2. Which period is the movie set in? Unlike Prey 2, this isn't a sequel, and it should not be even remotely related to Prey. Instead, we're getting a whole new historical twist with Badlands. So much like Prey took place in an entirely different timeline from the Predator films that existed before it, Badlands will also set the action in a different time and place. Prey took us back to the earliest days, right? That won't be happening with Badlands. As the name should suggest, Badlands is jumping into the future, so you can expect a dystopian or post-apocalyptic setting with a lot of future tech. But at the same time, there would be a lot of hardships as well. Now, one thing that is making me curious is this. You see, the Alien franchise is also set in the future, so is there even a remote chance that they throw a few alien Easter eggs here and there? Or ovomorphs for that matter? I leave my theories about which Predator character from the comics the movie could be about. Behind the scene, what's the status of Badlands? Prey director Dan Trachtenberg is back in the director's chair, and his writing partner, Patrick Eisen, who co-wrote the story, is handling the script. These two nailed it with Prey, scoring Emmy noms for their work, which is pretty wild for a Predator movie, so having them return is epic news for fans of both Prey and the Predator series in general. When should you expect it? Well, the movie's production starts or started in July 2024, depending on when you are watching this video. So, assuming it takes a year and another few months for post-production, we should have it in theaters or OTT in third quarter of 2025. Who could the lead female character be playing? Well, we have established that the movie is not a sequel to Prey 2 and is set in the future. We can't help but wonder if this could be the movie that leads to a future movie that stars cinema's two most iconic hunters, the Predators and the Aliens. With that in mind, I have a couple of badass female warriors from the comics who proved their mettle in the face of Predator-shaped trouble. Machiko Noguchi. Machiko had a pretty sweet start in life as the daughter of Akira Noguchi, a big-shot businessman. But things took a dark turn when her dad got canned for embezzlement and, unable to handle the disgrace, took his own life. This tragedy lit a fire under young Machiko, a fire that pushed her to restore her family's honor. She busted her chops and landed a job at the Chigusa Corporation. After putting in some serious work, she got shipped off to the ranching colony in Ryushi, a scorching planet with 2 suns. Here on Ryushi, she served as the new boss. Her dad's death and her mom's remarriage turned Machiko into a bit of a loner, and all she did after this was focus on her work. With little to no personal life or friends, even at Prosperity Wells, her new station, she wasn't exactly the social butterfly. But things started to change for her. She began to warm up to the staff and other colonists there and started getting more involved with the other colonists. Just when it seemed like Machiko was finding her groove, her life took another dramatic turn. Ryushi became ground zero for all things bad when a predator hunting party led by a skilled predator named Dachande touched down to see the planet with xenomorph eggs. Unfortunately, the predators had no clue humans had started settling here. To make things even crazier, a xenomorph queen slipped a royal egg into the mix, which could not be good for anyone on the planet below. Dachande got injured by the colony's dock, and the young predators went on a rampage. They practically killed everyone in their path, young or old, armed or unarmed, which was pretty unpredator-like. I mean, these guys live by a code of honor and do not attack people who are not worthy prey. For instance, the unarmed, the weak, pregnant women, and children. But soon, Dachande and Machiko realized they had a common enemy in the xenomorphs and teamed up to fight the alien menace. Dachande felt responsible for unleashing the xenomorphs on the unsuspecting humans, so he took it upon himself to save them. Machiko proved her mettle by taking down a xenomorph queen with pure grit and skill. Impressed, Dachande honored her with a predator named Datudi, meaning small knife, which basically made her as a human predator. Yeah, the predators have this coming-of-age ritual where they have to mark themselves with the blood of the first xenomorph they kill. Machiko, now a human predator, donned Yautja armor and weapons and joined the hunt, which she respects despite the occasional mockery for being human and being smaller in size. She later became the main factor why they could capture a live xenomorph queen for an upcoming hunt. Despite her thrilling life with the predators, Machiko's human instincts never faded. She eventually settled on Bellatrix 2 and became a guide for hunting parties on Livermore Evanston's planet. In AVP 3 World War, Machiko was called back into action when a group of killer predators attacked a mining colony. The colonial marines needed her expertise, and though hesitant, she agreed only because she realized the threat the killer predators posed to all life in the galaxy. She swiftly took down one of the killer predators, which led to a standoff between humans and predators. If you want to know more about this fierce warrior, you can check out our origin video on her, where we have explored practically all the comics that Machiko has ever appeared in. Next, we have a more recent predator hunter named Theta Berwick. Theta Berwick. The story of the badass Miss Berwick starts more or less in December 2041, when she traveled to Damara with her parents to study wildlife. Her father was gunned down by a Yautja, and that changed everything for Theta. Berwick and her mom fled to their ship in the Sandpiper. However, Berwick's mom was killed by the predator after bravely chopping off one of its mandibles. Before she died, her mom instructed the ship's AI, Sandy, to take care of Berwick. Driven by vengeance, Berwick spent the next 15 years hunting predators. In order to excel in her mission, she built her own armor from her kills and even created a trophy room filled with biomasks. Her fourth kill led her to a red egg-shaped device with travel logs, but activating it summoned more predators. Eventually, she learned to handle such devices with extreme caution. By 2053, Berwick had notched her 16th kill, and she was becoming so skilled at it that predators were forced to alter their hunting routes to avoid her. In 2056, on the planet X14432-8, Berwick beheaded another predator, but still hadn't found her parents' killer. The planet's natives mistook her for a predator due to her armor and attacked her, but luckily she managed to escape back to the Sandpiper. Sandy advised her to repair the ship at a nearby Astor Industries outpost, but Berwick crash-landed en route. After rebooting Sandy, she trekked through ice and snow for 11 days. Here, she survived on boar meat and even encountered hostile natives who reluctantly helped her in exchange for medical supplies. Upon reaching Port short Medway, Berwick discovered the employee slaughtered by a predator wielding her lost axe. A fierce battle ensued between the two hunters, and Berwick ultimately killed the predator by flooding it with coolant. She reclaimed her axe and gathered the needed equipment to repair the sandpiper. However, the warrior woman faced an attack from two predator ships. Of course, she managed to stay alive even after this. By 2062, she's racked up an impressive 31 predator kills. Her relentless hunt eventually took her to the predator's game preserve planet, where she discovers Paolo and a bunch of humans taken from Earth to be used as live bait for predator hunts. Relying on her knowledge of predators and their methods, Berwick leads this group through a gauntlet of river ghosts. The humans had no idea what was happening, and Theta brings them up to speed, telling them how they're just practice targets for the predators to own their skills. Additionally, the survivors are shocked to learn from Berwick that the predators have been putting them into stasis between hunts. Eventually, Berwick tells everyone to get aboard the sandpiper while she takes on the predator. Needless to say, the fight is brutal, and Berwick loses her right arm. Just when it looked like she was done for good, a group of river ghosts swooped in and attacked the predator. Alan and Omar, two of the survivors, carry Berwick back to the sandpiper, where Paolo reveals that the two others, Kiyoshi Yakuzubo and Oja, have taken over the ship. But hey, Oja returns to pick them up. On board, Paolo treats Berwick and fits her with a new arm. She soon recovers from her injuries, ready for whatever comes next. I would be thrilled if the new Predator film features any of these characters. Both the ladies are truly magnificent in the way they deal with predators in trouble. Or maybe the makers can blend these two characters into one. Works either way for me. What about you? And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.